The Humble Pope, Why Francis Captivated the World. Have you ever wondered why Pope Francis has touched the hearts of millions around the world, regardless of faith? What makes this man so different from his predecessors, and why do people feel so connected to him? The answer lies in one simple but powerful word: humility. From the moment he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica in 2013, Pope Francis signaled something new. He didn't wear the traditional red mozzetta. He didn't raise his arms in triumph. Instead, he bowed his head and asked the people to pray for him. It was a small gesture, but it spoke volumes. Here was a pope who saw himself not as a ruler, but as a servant. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, Argentina, lived a simple life long before he became pope. He cooked his own meals, took the bus to work, and lived in a modest apartment rather than the Grand Bishop's residence. As pope, he chose not to live in the apostolic palace but in a humble guest house. These choices weren't about making a statement, they were a reflection of who he truly is. But Pope Francis' humility isn't just about his lifestyle. It's about his heart. He consistently places the marginalized at the center of his ministry. He embraces the sick, the disabled, and the poor with tenderness. He visits prisons, refugee camps, and homeless shelters, not for photo opportunities, but because he believes that Christ lives in the faces of the forgotten. Francis often reminds us that the church must be a field hospital after battle, a place of healing, not judgment. This image has become central to his papacy. He speaks of mercy, not as an abstract idea, but as a mission. And that mission has taken him far beyond Vatican walls. From slums in Brazil to the war-torn streets of Iraq, he has gone where few popes have gone before, all to bring the light of Christ to the darkest corners. His humility also shines through in his words. He doesn't speak with cold authority but with warmth, compassion, and honesty. He has said, "Who am I to judge?" in reference to those seeking God's mercy. This simple phrase opened the door for millions who had felt excluded by the church. It wasn't a change in doctrine, it was a change in tone. And that tone made all the difference. Still, Pope Francis is not without critics. His openness, his reforms, and his emphasis on mercy have drawn opposition. But he continues forward with quiet strength, rooted in prayer and deep faith. He knows that his mission isn't to please everyone, but to follow Christ, no matter the cost. In a world hungry for authenticity, Pope Francis offers something rare: a leader who walks the talk. He reminds us that greatness is not found in power, but in love. Not in control, but in service. And not in wealth, but in simplicity. That's why Pope Francis has captivated the world. Because in his humility, we see the reflection of Jesus himself.